From the only thing in this universe that can actually kill a toy to the reason Bullseye will never speak a single word, today we're breaking down 10 dark Toy Story theories. But first, if you love Woody, drop a cowboy hat emoji. And if you're a Pixar fan, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Number 1, Buzz should have run out of batteries. Years ago. Start with a question the films answer for one character and quietly avoid for another. We know batteries matter in this universe. We watch it happen. RC starts slowing down during the truck chase. His signal dies, and he stops working because his battery is running out. That's a real limitation, and the movie treats it as life or death. So why does Buzz never have this problem? He talks constantly. His laser is on half the time. His wings deploy, his helmet opens, his voice box fires off catchphrases across 4 films and roughly 30 years of story time. Nobody ever changes his batteries. Nobody even mentions it. Here's the theory that fixes it, and it says something strange about how this whole world works. Buzz's batteries aren't what keep him alive. They only power his features, the voice box, the light, the wings. Take them out and you don't kill him. You just mute him. Because whatever animates a toy in this universe has nothing to do with electronics. Woody doesn't have batteries. Slinky doesn't. Mr. Potato Head is a plastic vegetable, which means RC wasn't dying during that chase. He was fully conscious and fully awake. He just lost the ability to move or make a sound while his friends were in danger. That's worse. That's so much worse. Number 2, no toy is born, knowing it's a toy. Here's the detail that unlocks everything dark about this franchise, and it's in the first movie. Buzz Lightyear does not know he's a toy, not as a joke, not as a bit. He genuinely, completely believes he is a real space ranger on a real mission.
I'm Buzz Lightyear, Space Ranger, Universe Protection Unit.
He tries to fly, he calls Star Command. He's baffled that nobody takes him seriously. Now think about what that proves. If toys were created to be playthings, if that purpose was built into them, Buzz would have arrived knowing it. He didn't. He had to be told. He had to have it beaten into him over the course of an entire film until he broke down on that landing, which means being a toy isn't what they are. It's a role they get assigned by whoever opens the box. They wake up with no idea what they're for, and then a human tells them, and that becomes their entire life. Number 3, the scene that was too dark to keep. And if you think the finished film went easy on this idea, there's a sequence they cut. In it, Sid takes a power drill to Buzz. He starts boring a hole into his leg and then turns the drill on while it's still in there. Not to modify him, not to build one of his creations, just to do it. Buzz gets flung across the room. And then Sid turns on Woody, who takes what might be the most gratuitous backhand ever storyboarded at Pixar and goes flying too. They pulled it, and you can see why. The film we got needs Sid to be a bratty kid you eventually feel sorry for, not something else entirely, but sit with the fact that somebody drew it. In a movie about conscious feeling toys, there was a version where the audience watched one of them get drilled into while awake. Number 4, 3 things that prove a toy can't die. And that matters because of what this franchise keeps showing us about how much a toy can survive. Sid's creations are still conscious, burned, beheaded, taken apart and rebuilt into bodies that don't work properly, legs where arms go, a baby's head on a spider, and every single one of them is awake in there. Being destroyed didn't end them. It just changed what they had to live in. Abandoned toys stay aware. Jessie doesn't switch off when Emily leaves her under the bed. She lies there, conscious, for years. Lotso doesn't get to stop existing when he's replaced. The lost toys at the carnival in the 4th film have been sitting in that booth for who knows how long. There is no off switch for being forgotten. Only one thing in 4 films has ever looked like a real ending: the incinerator. That's the single moment where the toys stop fighting, join hands, and accept it. Because complete destruction is the only exit any of them have ever had. Put those 3 together, and this stops being a children's franchise about friendship. These are conscious beings who can be dismembered, rebuilt wrong, and abandoned for decades. And the only way out is to be burned down to nothing. Number 5, Forky never asked to exist. And then the 4th film does the darkest thing this series has ever done and dresses it up as a comedy. Bonnie takes a spork out of a bin. She glues on eyes, sticks on a pipe cleaner, and gives it a name. And it comes alive. Stop there for a second, because that's the part nobody sits with. A human being in this universe can create a conscious life form out of garbage, with no ceremony, no rules, and nobody's permission. She wasn't chosen. She didn't know she could. It just happened. Now watch what the thing she made actually does. Forky's first instinct, his only instinct for most of that film, is to get back to a bin. He runs at the trash. He throws himself in. He climbs out of a moving vehicle to reach it. Everyone laughs because it's played as a gag. It isn't a gag. Forky, I'm trash. That's a being who was pulled into existence without consent, told he now belongs to a child, and spends the entire film trying to undo do it. And based on everything we just covered, the bin wasn't a home he was homesick for. It was the only ending available to him. Woody spends that whole movie physically dragging him back, and Woody genuinely believes he's saving him. Number 6. Bullseye will never speak now. Here's a small one that turns out to be enormous. Bullseye has never said a word. The easy answer is that he's a horse. He neighs, he nuzzles. That's the character. Fine, except that isn't how this universe works. Rex talks, Buzz talks, Mr. Potato Head is a potato, and he never shuts up. Being an animal or an object clearly doesn't stop anybody else. And watch the moment it really lands. In Toy Story 2, Jessie breaks down about Emily, the owner who left her. It's the most devastating scene in the franchise. Bullseye is right there. He says nothing. He can't. Not won't, can't. So what's actually stopping him? Number 7. Your first child decides who you are forever. And the answer might be the biggest rule in this entire universe. Here's the theory. The first child who really plays with a toy permanently shapes who that toy becomes. Look at how well it fits. Woody is a sheriff. Brave, responsible, the one who takes charge and can't stop taking charge even when it's ruining his life. That's not a factory setting. That's a personality a kid built by playing the same way 1,000 times. Buzz is a space ranger. He was so completely convinced of it that it took an entire film to break, because Andy played him as one relentlessly from day one. Jessie is loyal, emotional, and terrified of being left. Emily made her that, not by being cruel, just by loving her and then growing up. And Bullseye got a first owner who made him a silent horse, so that's what he is, permanently. Here's the part that hurts. New owners can give a toy new adventures, new friends, new memories. What they can't do is rewrite the original, which means Bullseye isn't quiet because he feels less for Jessie than she feels for him. Those neighs and nudges and looks are the only vocabulary he was ever given, and he's been using every bit of it on her for years. Number 8. There's a version of Toy Story that got shut down, and if the franchise feels darker than you remembered, that's because the original one was worse. Before the film, we know. Pixar made a version that got screened for the studio and killed on the spot, and the reason was Woody. Here's what that Woody was actually like. He was the villain of his own movie. Sarcastic, cynical, openly nasty to the other toys. Not a good guy having a bad week, a genuinely unpleasant character who bossed everyone around because he could. He shoves Buzz out that window on purpose. In the film we got, it's a panicked accident that Woody spends the rest of the movie trying to undo. In that version, he means it. He was unlikable enough to be unwatchable. By the accounts of people in that screening, the film was actively hard to sit through. Nobody was rooting for the main character. The studio pulled the plug, production stopped, and Pixar had to go back and rebuild the character from the ground up, which is why there's a version of the greatest animated film ever made that almost ended the studio before it started. Number 9. Except Jerk Woody never fully went away. And here's the thing they don't advertise. Go back and watch the first act of the film we actually got. Woody is horrible. He's threatened by a new toy, so he mocks him in front of everyone. He organizes the other toys against him. He gets so consumed by losing his spot on the bed that he tries to knock a rival behind a desk and puts him out of a window instead. Then he lies about it to everyone for most of the movie. That's not a hero having a rough patch. That's the cynical Woody from the shutdown version. Still in there. They just gave him something the first version never had. A reason. The original Woody was cruel because that was his personality. The finished Woody is cruel because he is terrified, and because a kid he loves just replaced him. Same behavior, completely different character. And that one change is the entire reason this franchise exists. Number 10. Nobody ever taught Bonnie how to love a toy. And here's the one that'll actually get you. Everyone came out of the 4th film annoyed at Bonnie. She shoves Woody in the closet. She forgets about him. She plays rough, loses things, moves on fast. After everything Andy was, she felt like a downgrade. Now put the two of them side by side. When Woody's arm rips in Toy Story 2, watch Andy. He panics. Genuine, immediate distress. Because to him, this isn't a broken object, it's someone he's responsible for. He carefully sets him aside. He worries about him. Nobody is born doing that. Andy learned it. Somewhere, from someone, that boy was taught that the things you love get looked after. And he carried it so completely that at 17, he was still hand-delivering his toys to the right person instead of dumping them in a box. Bonnie was never taught any of it. That's the whole difference. She isn't careless because she's a bad kid. She's careless because no one ever sat with her and showed her that a toy is something you take care of. To her, they're objects, because that's all anyone ever told her they were, which reframes the ending of Toy Story 4 completely. Woody doesn't leave because he stopped being loved. He leaves because he finally landed with a child who was never shown how, and after a lifetime with a kid who was, he can feel the difference and can't do anything about it. Andy didn't just give Woody away, he handed him to someone who didn't know what she'd been given. So tell me, was Bonnie careless, or was she just never taught? Let me know in the comments. And that's it. Which one surprised you the most? A theory or a tiny detail? Let me know in the comments. If you want the next part, hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed, because we're uncovering even more secrets next time.